And in it, he describes that this could have been something interdimensional or even a parallel dimension vasting space and time.
Vallée's theory is that the legendary flying Magonian ships of the 9th century are connected to the more recent UFO sightings of the 1950s and 60s. Evidence, he claimed, that time-traveling aliens have visited the planet for centuries. That's all fascinating, but before we stamp our passport to Magonia, let's figure out what this particular floating ship represents. A true mystery, or just a fascinating trick of the eye? First, you know we have to ask, could this photo have been doctored?
I see no signs of artifacts or doctoring. So that tells me that what we're looking at is authentic and was actually captured in camera.
And by checking the ship tracking sites, photography expert Andrew McCarthy is actually able to determine that these ships are very much of this dimension.
We know that it was a Norwegian tanker ship called the Maribel, which suggests to me that what we're looking at is not a levitating ship, but something else at play.
So if it's a real ship under sail, then what's causing this strange effect?
At a certain distance, you're no longer really looking at the ocean because the air is reflecting the sky back towards you. That's why the horizon actually drops in this image.
In other words, that's not really the sky. It's the reflection of the sky off the water in the far distance. We see the same effect in the video from Kent.
It's actually what's called a false horizon. The surface of the water, as you get further out, is a bit calmer out here than it is back here. Because it's calmer and flatter, it's reflecting things more evenly. You just get a more even reflection of the sky.
You can see this line looks like the horizon, but on a 2D plane, it's actually up here. That's because all of the water in the area is the same color as the sky it's reflecting and blending into. Our verdict, this is simply an optical illusion. This is just the sky reflecting off the water. But it makes you wonder, were similar odd sights centuries ago what gave rise to the legend of Magonia? It's May 2012 in South Ayrshire, Scotland. Engineer and professional trainer Chris Croft is traveling up from England with his wife.
I did a bit of research on things to see in Scotland, and there was this thing called the electric bray, and they said it's one of the weirdest things you'll ever see, and you have to see it.
Chris and his wife arrive at the Bray, which in Scottish means hillside. He gets out of his car, but then his car does something remarkable.
This is a car rolling uphill at the electric Bray. Let's have a look at it from the other angle.
My first thought was, is it magnetism? Is it some weird gravity effect? Because it absolutely feels like that. How can things roll uphill?
And Chris isn't the only one to capture this strange sight.
This is crazy.
In January 2020, travel journalist Bridget Barbara showed that not only cars, but also balls seem to roll up the slope of this roadway. So what's the deal?
The sort of notorious name Electric Bray comes from the fact that many people who have witnessed this sort of anomaly feel that it had to do with electricity being installed in the area.
They started to wonder if there could be some electromagnetic field that's moving objects up this hill.
So let's take another look at this car rolling uphill. The camera catches it from multiple angles, and it seems clear that the car is going up the slope, contrary to all the known laws of physics. We don't have Sir Isaac Newton on staff, but let's see if our experts can figure out what's going on here.
If it was magnetism that was dragging the car uphill, it would have to be tremendously big and huge. And we don't see that anywhere. We don't see a gigantic magnet pulling this object up.
One experiment suggests a magnet would need to be 6 miles wide in order to pull a small car up a hill. And physicist Dr. Hakeem Oluseyi says there's another problem.
Not every object that's moving up the road is made of metal. A ball is not made of metal. It is not a conductor.
Our physicists believe the explanation of this strange video lies not in electricity, but in geography.
We judge our orientation on the planet Earth by looking at the horizon. But the horizon here is not flat. It's tilted. As a consequence, the brain could become confused as to what really is horizontal. And perhaps that's the key to how you can ride something uphill.
What appears to be up and down is all relative. You can get fooled, you can get tricked.
The slope of this hill is very slight, rising only 17 feet over a quarter mile. This gradual slope surrounded by the unusual landscape leads to the confusion. And Chris says it can be hard to switch your brain back around.
I was saying to myself, looking down this hill, this is actually uphill, and it must be just the shape of the mountain behind that's making me feel that. But I couldn't flip it in my mind.
Our verdict, this is an optical illusion. The surrounding landscape makes what's going down look like it's going up. Scientists say our brains take in so much information that in filtering some things out, they can make us see things that aren't real.